good Italian job.
I'm feeling good, Tommy boy. Looks like you are in a location I have not seen before. Some shiplap, some wood paneling. Looks like a barn, an old barn or something. Where are you calling us in? Where is this podcast being recorded?
Well, I decided to go out and try to Chip and Joanna Gaines, but they said no because they're busy. No, I am. I'm in my new office location as of this past Monday. I started a job which is finally filling my Mammon cup. So I am at Peace Haven Farm, which is a nonprofit organization in Whitsett, North Carolina. I get to go to work on a functioning farm every day, and we serve the intellectual and developmentally disabled community, their families. We bring in octogenarians from down the road, these guys who have a generation practically of skills and talents that they can come in and share, teach the wider community what's going on. We're 100% net zero because of all of our solar fields. I mean, dude, I am finally back where I need to be. So SkyQ heard me cry out and answered thusly, and here I am. So
I dig it, man.
Hallelujah.
Hey, man, it is Good Friday, and I understand this morning you kept a tradition going that's happened for, 5 years now. Is that right?
Actually, this year was our 7th running and rucking of the annual Cross Ruck event. It's always the event that almost never was, right? But a quick history, and it stemmed from a guy downrange who visited us from F3 Columbia and shared that they did an event they called the Cross Ruck. It was focused on fitness and faith. Fellowship happened afterward. And it just kind of got me thinking of, man, what can we do inspired by that idea in Greensboro? And so we put together kind of a modern day telling from the moment that Jesus was taken into custody through the moment his earthly life leaves his earthly body. And in such a way that through the F3 lens of faith, a belief simply in something bigger than ourselves. So no matter where you are on kind of the religious spectrum of faith, you're going to take something away from it. If you want to be inspired on how to be a great leader, perfect, man. And we got a story for you. If you want to be reminded that your burdens are not yours to carry alone, have we got an event for you? If you want to set the table aptly for your religious faith experience and your walk with Christ, have we got an event for you? So we deep dive. We use a lot of modern words. We don't pull punches on the descriptions of what physically happened to him while he was beaten and crucified. And it really is meant to take the poetry and the poems and the stories from the prophets and the saints that you and I grew up on, and really put modern words into the context. And so at the end, there's a really special moment that happens on top of a parking deck in downtown Greensboro. Skyline, sun is just trying to creep up, and they're given an opportunity. I don't want to give too much away should anybody else want to participate, but they're given the opportunity to release their burdens if they so choose. It's a very private moment for them and only them, but they're surrounded by people who are there to do the same, or there to be a pillar to rely on if they need it. So yeah, I said short description, but that wasn't a short description.
We had talked about this being a shortened week, a holiday week, and a lot of our guests that would normally be on this is family time. So you and I are going to run solo on this, just the two of us. But the thoughts here are that, this is still stuff worth trying. This is something you guys have done locally for years, and it's shown that you are able to take your faith a little bit deeper. So even though this isn't a stuff worth trying thing you should try on our description of agenda for conversation today, it is something worth trying to strengthen a man's faith in whatever his faith is, to do something a little bit uncomfortable, to maybe dig in deeper into your spiritual life and into what you believe in. So though this wasn't, the agenda item, I mean, that is stuff worth trying. Doing the hard thing as a reminder that people before you have done hard things, and they were better.
It's the perfect example. Exactly. It's the perfect example of why stuff worth trying exists. somebody shared something they were doing in their region. It sparked a fire in our region. Here we are 7 years later, just because somebody wanted to share. And that's what we're here to do. We had a great conversation with the young men last week who were about to lead their first convergence workout. Three, I don't even know if there's a generational name for them. Generation Why Not?
Yeah, there you go. Love it. Love it.
Let's call it that. And man, they were hard chargers. So I hope that next month there's 9 more young men who are leading convergences in their fathers' regions. So we can only hope, right? So
Yep.
guys, like IJ said, this is going to be condensed. We've got one more topic to dive into quickly and hype up because it's another something worth trying. But if you're doing something that you think has not that you think something that has had an impact in you via F3, let us know. Find us on Twitter. We're on F3SWT. We're on the Slack channel. It's Stuff We're Trying. There's a designated channel. Ping us. Let us know. We'll get you scheduled in to have the conversation. It's super conversational. There's no right or wrong. As long as it meets the mission, the credo, and our core principles, man, we're firing in all cylinders.
Yeah.
So hit us up. Hit us up. Italian Job, that being said, and thank you for asking about Crossrock. It really is one of the coolest things that we do each year in F3. And it always, I teased it, it always is that event that almost never happens, but it's because people, sometimes not even in F3, have circled back or hit us up from outside channels and asked how they could sign up or participate in this year's event. So it really is, it really is stuff worth trying. So skipping ahead, looking into the future, now that we just looked into the past, you've got a return event happening down in Jacksonville. There's a couple of folks gathering, I hear, for a pretty big deal known as Sandlot. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Sandlot Jacks is a 3-day, they like to call it a 3-day fitness event where there are speakers, there are physical challenges, there are vendors set up, there's team yoga. Let me give you a rundown of some of the things that are on the schedule. So looking at it, you've got taking challenges. These are ruck challenges. These are also OCR. There's a huge Rogue Fitness obstacle course race, which is quite challenging. And I tell you, it's quite challenging because I saw some of the fittest people I've ever seen in my life struggle to get through it. There's live music in the evenings. There are keynote speakers. They call them fit talks. And these fit talks are trainers by fitness leaders. So let me give you a rundown of some of these guys and gals. You've got Don Fall, who's the CrossFit CEO. You've got a stunt woman named Jessie Graff. You've got Street Parking CEO. You've got the author of The Perfect Storm, Sebastian Junger. Melissa Urban, the co-founder and CEO of Whole30. D Brown, if you remember 1991, the slam dunk champion, he covers his face up and comes in for a jam. D Brown's going to be there from the Boston Celtics. Michael Easter, the author of The Comfort Crisis, which we've talked about quite a bit. And there appears to be 15, 20, including we've got folks who are combat war veterans. And last year, Dark Helmet spoke on our behalf, F3, and encouraged men and ladies worldwide. This event, what I love about this event, there's this, if you've ever done a Ragnar race where there's like this base camp and then you go and run your race, it's like that. There's a base camp with all of the goodies, the OCR race, the vendor tents where you get all kinds of free samples of drinks and food and snacks and that sort of thing. There's vendors set up where you can learn more about different things like the Travis Mannion Foundation. And then there's just challenges throughout the course of the day. You can do them on your own if you choose, where you complete the ruck challenge, which might be, rucking from a set course, come back, get a patch. It's choose your own adventure. And our friends at Go Ruck have actually given us a discount code, a buy one, get one free discount code, which, in order for it not to get out to everybody, send me an email, italianjob@f3nation.com, and I'll shoot it over to you. It's a buy one, get one free. And and that's going to save you if you do the full 3-day, which is, I should probably tell you when it is. It's April 21st through the 23rd. If you do the full 3-day, that would normally cost you $249. So you can get BOGO with a buddy of yours, or you can just do the Saturday only, and it's $99. So if me and you, Tommy Boy, go down there, it's $50 each. That ain't bad. That's not bad at all.
Exactly.
Dude. And like, what I
That's
didn't
way
mention,
cheaper than BRR.
I'll tell you that much. But one of the things that I'm bearing the lead on is you can also see all of the Go Ruck gear that has not been out to the public yet. Last year when I went, they had sandbag jerry cans, they had sandbag kettlebells, they had all the stuff that's now out. They had it where you could try it out. And here's something else. This is something, I'm a bargain hunter. You are too. I can buy a ruck that's been on display in their store for like 50% off, like 50% off. So when I go down in a few weeks with Dark Helmet and a handful of guys from the fort, I plan on just sending a message out to everybody. Hey man, what do you want? I'm buying it all and bringing it home. I mean, you're basically getting stuff at cost a lot of the times. There's t-shirts you can only get there. There's patches you can only get there. I'm fired up because it's fun. Just first and plain and simple, it's fun. But secondarily, I'm going to meet guys from all over the nation who are converging down there at 0700 that Saturday morning. We're going to have a workout, and I expect there's going to be 100 or so guys who are going to be there.
Oh yeah, totally.
We'll meet at Veterans Wall, which is in between. If you've ever been to Jacksonville, there's a baseball stadium where the Jumbo Shrimp play, and then the football stadium where the Jaguars play. And in between, there's a Veterans Wall. And last year, that was our starting point. We had our workout in the big parking lot. We came back. There was a cafeteria afterwards. The guys from Jacksonville hosted that for us. We're going to do it again this year. And every year that they do these, this is the second annual, it gets bigger and it gets bigger, and we get to do more and more cool stuff. But we get to hear speakers, guys and gals who are not part of F3, but still share the same mission, which we share, is invigorating those leaders. And you're around fitness focused people. So it's not like when you go to a conference with work and you're surrounded by a bunch of people who are only talking shop about things that you only really talk shop about because you're required to, because you're paid to do it. This is people who just want to have fun in the sun. It's a fun event, plenty of food. It's something that I recommend that, why is it stuff worth trying? Because you're never going to get to do these sorts of things on your own. Where you don't have an obstacle. I don't know if you do, but I don't have an OCR in my backyard where I can go between rings and climb an 11-foot wall. And it's hard. It's hard. And that's the stuff that we thrive on, is doing the hard thing. And you get to do it with a bunch of other guys in badass black t-shirts. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? And it's 50%. It's buy one, get one. Why not do it? So again, if you guys want to go, you can go and check everything out on their website, and it's sandlotjacks.com, like the Sandlot where you play ball, SANDLOT, Jacks, JAX.com. You can see all the speakers, you can see the agenda, you can see what kind of events are ongoing. And once you're in the gates, it's basically whatever you want to do, choose your own adventure. You don't have to pay for each ruck event. You're already there.
Right.
So it's included. So if you want to ruck from bar to bar in Jacksonville, you can. And you come back, you get a patch for it. It's just, it's fun. It's like what we do in the Gloom spread over 3 days. And we're going to get together with a convergence on that Saturday morning with all the guys anyway. We didn't ask for permission to do it. We're just going to do it because that's kind of what we do. I
mean, it's basically Disney. It's Disney World for F3, right? I mean,
yes,
I would go down just to hear Sebastian Younger. I mean, if you guys haven't read Tribe or Freedom, I mean, golly, get on that and then get fired up. I mean, it's what you're telling me is, like, it's Disney World for F3, and I can only imagine when the sun comes up over Jacksonville on Saturday morning and all those high impact men roll out to the wall. I mean, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I've got pictures from last year, video from last year. It was so much fun that it's something that all the guys should try. Now, cost prohibitive, that they've kind of lessened that burden by dropping the price for us. And again, shoot me an email, italianjob@f3nation.com. I'll shoot you the code. It's BOGO. But I'll be honest with you. I've met the guys who run GoRuck, and they're so on board with the types of stuff that we do that they're not trying to make money off of us, man. They just want us to be there and show other folks that, we're proud of that logo on our shirt, and we do the hard
Yep.
thing, and everybody sees it when we're doing these challenges. People start asking, who are those guys? And it's pretty cool. We EHing guys, we had some FNGs from the event last year. The speakers are, by the way, indoors. So if you're like, hey man, it's just too hot in Jacksonville, it's indoors with air conditioning, and we might even find you a bottle of cold water. But
The
I'm
top
excited.
of the 11-foot wall for Sebastian Younger.
That's right. That's right. Last year, it was just I got to go down there with some of the guys folks have heard before: Bones, Dark Helmet, Slaughter. We all rode down together, and just spending time with the guys was tons of fun. But it's a fun event. Like I said, it's something that if you're interested in going down, get a clown car together, travel down there. It's at the end of this month. Just spend some time with the guys. And even if you're a gear junkie like I am, just buying stuff at 40% off. Last year I bought Rucker plates and brought home like 15 of them. And I just passed the savings on to the guys. I'm like, listen, I bought all of them that I could fit in the back of my truck. I got terrible gas mileage coming back because there was several hundred pounds in the back. But yeah, it's April 21st through the 23rd. It's in Jacksonville, Florida. You check their website out. That central hub is at Metropolitan Park, which is right across the street from the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. It's going to be a good time. So join us if you want to join us. If not, no big deal. But at least check out the website. We'll try to get some videos and stuff posted on our Facebook feed as we're down there gallivanting around with our buddies and all weekend long.
Yeah, wear those shirts proudly. Always be EHing. We'll get the web address in the show notes.
Yeah,
fellas, if anybody wants the playbook for Crossruck, I'm happy to provide that. I'll set a link up, or you know how to find me, but just in case, you can always hit me up through F3SWT on Twitter, or find me on Slack, F3 Tommy Boy. I believe it says, XQ of Education. That being said, we're stepping into a phase. It's raining. It's pouring rain. Where both Italian Job and I are recording in two separate locations in two different states. It's Good Friday. We're in this void now between Good Friday and the miracle of Easter. And even if you do not subscribe to a religious faith, somewhere in the past, probably month, if not sooner, there's been a void in your life where you thought, is this it? Or am I not destined to be more? Or why is this burden put on my shoulders? And the good news is simply this: life happens in cycles and waves, sines and cosines. We're not meant to live it alone, or we're not meant to keep it to ourselves, both the good and the bad. So when this drops tomorrow at 9 a.m., it's going to be Saturday when you're hearing this. If you hear it the day it hits, we're in this void. Nature travels in cycles too. So does our faith. So do our lives. All of those things are not meant to happen in a vacuum. Find a guy or be the guy. Shoulder the burden, lean in, listen closer, talk a little bit more in the form of sharing, open up, and be ready to receive whatever comes next. That's how the high impact man rolls, because when we pick up the 6, we do it knowing that eventually that guy's going to circle back and have the opportunity to pick us up.
That's it, man. Hey, I've got one thing to close out. Something I read and I posted the other day. It said, a man who lacks purpose distracts himself with pleasure. A man who lacks purpose distracts himself with pleasure. So look around you. What are the things you shouldn't be doing that you're doing? And who should you be serving? Because if you lack purpose, you will distract yourselves with the things that feel good. And guess what happens when you distract yourself with pleasures of the world? You end up unhappy and in a cycle of constantly seeking the newest pleasure. And it just ends in sadness. So find that purpose, whatever it is. If it's serving your community, it's first should be serving your family, serving your wife, serving your kids, serving your community, serving your faith. These are things that matter. That's what makes a high impact man, leaving a legacy behind of service, of love. That should be a purpose we all strive for. And in light of Good Friday and upcoming Easter, that's how Tommy Boy and I, that's the faith we subscribe to, is knowing that service above all else. That's what matters. Love and sacrifice for those you love. Just find that purpose, man. Get out there, find that purpose, and serve the people that need the service. That's what we exist for.
Amen, brother. Tiny job if a grown man hasn't told you, I love you. And guess what else? Be good or be good at it.
Man, I love you, Tommy Boy. Great way to close it out. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.